Hey guys, it's Elena, and today I wanted to show you something a little bit different. I normally do a lot of fluid art on my iPad, but I wanted to show you some different stuff that you can do with some of my other brush sets, my Terrazzo and my stone and marble sets, which I have just put into a new bundle, so I'll link to that in the description below. But I wanted to show you how you can make something a little bit like this just for fun. So I'm going to make a new document that is 3000 by 2000 pixels, and I like to make it a little bit smaller than the screen so that I can see the edges. And I'm using my Terrazzo color palette, which is something that comes with the brush set. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start out in a dark color, and I'm going to choose one of the bigger Terrazzo brushes. This is number 1. And it has an underlying texture, but the brush tip also has a texture. So just don't lift up the pen and just keep moving it around, sort of edging it around very slowly until you're happy with how it comes out. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and put a bit of the darker blue over here as well. Like that. And maybe a tiny bit here. And now I'm going to go ahead and start a new layer. With the Terrazzo, I really like to put everything on its own layer so that I can come back and manipulate it if I want to. So every time I remember, sometimes I forget, but I make a new layer for every new color. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one, and I'm going to go with a green. And then I'm gonna overlap it just a little bit. I really enjoy building up a lot of different textures and different colors using these brushes. As it progresses, I tend to go smaller and lighter. So smaller textures and lighter colors. Oops, and I've just done those on the same layer, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a new layer now. And I'm gonna just keep going lighter. So I'm gonna choose a super light green here. And I'm gonna go with that one. I like to leave some areas of white space instead of just covering the whole page with Terrazzo, because you can go, I tend to go overboard with a lot of things, and you can go overboard with this if you don't go overboard everywhere. So if you just have a few areas with a lot and then minimalist on other areas. So with these in the Terrazzo palette, there's a couple of really almost white colors on here, which are really good with some of these lighter textures. So I'm going to go with this now and just fill in some of these areas over top with lighter and smaller bits so that it looks like a piece of stone with little bits inside of it. Like that. And that does not look good on there. There we go. Something that you can do if you want, you can make it so that it sort of overlaps here. You know, like it goes over everything like that. Or you can select these bigger pieces. So this is the blue down here. If I go back down and select that layer, now I'm on this layer and I add a new one right above it, tap it, and then hit clipping mask. And if I do that, then I can go ahead and fill in some little bits of stone on top of this, and it will only cover up what's already on this layer. So if I go out of the lines, then it won't be coloring anything here. I'll show you what I mean. See, nothing happens here because it's not inside the lines. So you can do that if you want to sort of emulate a stone that has some bits inside of it, like Terrazzo generally does. So let's go ahead and try a different color white now, this one. And I want to add this over top of everything and not just on top of one layer now. And then I'm going to choose the very small texture here. And just add it along the edge, which is also kind of a fun thing to try. And I really like how it looks when it's just like on top of the white, you can barely see it. And I'm gonna go and take number 3 now and just choose a pinkish white and go over, add a couple of bits with this as well. I think I want to choose a gray now and just do maybe a peachy color and do a little bit with this one. And you know what? I need to make a new layer. I've done a lot of that on the same layer, so I'm going to do a new layer now. Just keep going. I wanted to let some of this stretch out into the open space. Okay, so now that I've done all of this, I could just leave it like this and maybe do some lettering or, you know, let it be something that's like a pattern for a product or something like that. But I wanted to show you another cool trick that you can do with one of my other brush sets in combination with this. And it's the Marble and Stone brush set. So this one has a lot of different marble and stone textures that you can use. And I really like to combine them with the Terrazzo to make them look, some of it look like it's actually made out of stone. So I'm actually going to use this with my eraser first, and I'll show you how. Okay, so I've already selected, under the eraser, I've selected marble and stone. And I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. And now I'm going to pick which layer I'm going to do this to. And I think I'm going to go with the blue, the dark blue here. And I'm going to start using the marble and stone as an eraser on this blue. And you'll see what I mean here. That's very small. Okay. So you can kind of make it look like it's made of stone, which is really fun. You can choose different ones, try different things. You can't really see it because it's behind some of this other layer, but just to give you an idea of what you can do. And I think I'm going to choose another layer now. I'm going to go ahead and choose the green and try the same thing here with the eraser. So when you're using the textures as an eraser, it makes it a little bit lighter. If I were to use it as a brush instead, you can choose any color. I think I'm gonna choose the dark blue to go over top of this as a brush instead. So I'm gonna go with that one. And then I'm gonna color over this. And actually what I have to do is I have to make a new layer in order to do this, and then make it a clipping mask again. And then it only colors what's below it. Okay, so now I'm back to the brush and the stone texture, and I'm gonna do it on here. So that makes it darker, and I could choose a different color like this green. So you can make some interesting color combinations this way. Or I could even choose a lighter color, like pink. And that has a very different look, obviously. But I think I'm just gonna go with the dark blue and just color some of this in. So this is something you can do if you want to make something look a little bit more like actual stone. So the terrazzo by itself is sort of an abstract look, and this can look more realistic if you want to choose the stone and marble brushes. Touching the clipping mask again, and the layer I'm going on top of now is this one here. So that's kind of interesting. Or I could choose a different. I'm gonna go with that one and just add some very light speckles to this. So that's just kind of a fun thing that you can do with both of these brush sets together. You can have a lot of possibilities, and it's really fun to try and combine, make some different combinations and see what you can come up with. But I just wanted to show you that, and you can get both of these brush sets from the link in the description. And let me know if you have any questions or if you have any requests that you want to make for some other tutorials. Just let me know.